I'm not sure about how you heard today's readings, but when I first read them, they didn't seem to have much in common. The first reading, though, is from Exodus, is a series of God's great deeds, mighty, as Joyce will tell you, a mighty long list of great deeds. And those deeds are meant to elicit gratitude from the Israelites. It's a gratitude that flows from God's fidelity to them. We could also say for us too. And in the Gospel from Matthew, it's that well-known passage that speaks of the special and sacred bond of marriage, where a man and woman rightly choose one another and then form one flesh that cannot be divided by human decision. This relationship, this covenant, also has to do with fidelity. The fidelity between a husband and a wife, but not just them, united in God. Whether in the Old Testament or in the New Testament, it all begins with God's fidelity. The passage from Exodus, as I said, is a litany of God's faithfulness through the years. And a wider view reveals that God has brought his people, including our ancestors and our current families, to a better place or a better situation throughout the centuries. In essence, God fulfills our deepest needs. However, this isn't meant to be a one-way street relationship or a covenant. For that covenant involves a reciprocity. The call to us from God is to respond with fidelity, both to God and to each other. As we heard in that first reading, Joshua calls the people together at God's command. And what he wants them to do is to inspire a response of gratitude from the people. If you think about it, gratitude is the first and the most important step in our loving someone. When we're grateful, it's because we recognize the good we've received from someone or from God. But as I think most of us know, one of the great obstacles to love in this postmodern world is a sense of individualism. The sense that we don't need or maybe don't want to be in relationship with God or others. But this goes against how we're made. For our parents cooperated with God's grace to conceive and to bring each one of us to life. Think about that. Think about the miracle of that cooperation with God's grace. It reveals that we're not meant to be apart. We're not meant to be autonomous beings. We're made to be in communion, both in families and in society. So today's readings, I think, can cause us to take stock of our lives, both the past and the present. These are some of the questions I thought of when I was preparing. We could ask, are we living like we're made by God? Or do we live like we're just some kind of anonymous numbered person? We can ask ourselves, are we investing in our families? Our husbands and wives, are you investing in your marriage? Also going beyond our families, do we invest in our neighborhoods and our parishes? Or are we kind of turning inward, focusing mostly on ourselves? Next, we can ask, what is my story with God? How has God and my family and ancestors allowed me to hear the word of God in the past and right now? How has this hearing the word of God enlightened and challenged and strengthened me? And lastly, what am I grateful for from God? What am I grateful for from my family and my friends? My brothers and sisters, as we ponder these questions, as we wrestle with the Word of God, let us remember we both need and have God in our corner. Let us also remember that we need men and women who turn to God and form strong and loving marriages that bear the future generations who will know and love God and each other. For whatever our vocation or our current station in life, each of us can give thanks to God and then invest Invest by beginning with prayers for husbands and wives and their children, and in so many other ways that will show our love and our gratitude that God-loving families will bring to our world. May God bless you and your families this holy day as we join in prayer with gratitude for all that God has given.